Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Israel Update. I am delighted to be having the amazing Doobie Sabbo joining me. Doobs, are you there?
Yes, Shabbat Shalom, Christie. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Now, Doobs, you and I were going to focus on speaking about France and what they've done in terms of labeling Gaza as, refugees, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But something much bigger has happened. For everybody watching, we are recording this on a Wednesday for the sake of our editors, so you're watching this on a Friday. We recorded it on a Wednesday. But Doobs, let's talk about what has just happened in Syria. Tell the people.
Yeah, well, the situation in Syria is really escalating in terms of the internal issues within Syria. I mean, it didn't start anything between Syria and Israel. There were nothing between Syria and Israel. The only thing that we were monitoring for the long time already is trying to understand the Israeli intelligence bureaus, offices. The agencies were trying to monitor, did Mr. al-Julani, the president of Syria, so-called, change his skin? Did he really convert it into a legit leader, or is he still back there in Al-Qaeda, still back there in the terror organizations where he grew up? And unfortunately, we're learning more and more that he's like really a wolf disguised as a sheep. We're learning that he's talking one thing when he meets with international leaders, when he wears his suits, but back inside, his people, his regime, his followers are still the same jihadists that they used to be. And in the last few weeks, we're hearing more and more issues about them trying to come against maybe the most peaceful religion and the most peaceful society in the world, the Druze people. We have Druze people in Israel, almost about 400,000 Druze living in Israel. We have Druze people in Lebanon, almost about 500,000. And the biggest population of the Druze people is in Syria. Over 1 million Druze people living in Syria, what they call the Jabal Druze, or the mountain of the Druze people. Since they are a group of people that broke out of Islam over 1,000 years ago, even though they have the same culture, the same food, the same language, they considered to be infidel in the name of the Islam. And now they've been targeted by the Syrian regime, sending troops as if they call them Bedouin settlers or some, stray soldiers. They try to lie about it, but they're sending them into the Druze centers, the Druze population, and they are literally conducting a massacre. They are slaughtering the Druze people. They humiliate the men by by shaving their beards, shaving their mustaches. This is an act on their behalf of humiliating their God and their prophets. They are literally killing them in the streets. Now, the Druze people has been for years in collaboration with the Druze people of Israel. We know that the Druze people in Israel are some of the fearless warriors. They serve in the military in Israel. They're a member of Knesset. They're part of the Israeli society, very, very loyal to the people of Israel. Many of them lost their lives in this current war, as they are always in the front lines. And they have a blood connection with the Druze around the world. They believe that they are one people. They cannot stand aside when seeing their brethren and sisters being killed, being slaughtered in Syria. So they started to put more and more pressure over the Israeli government. Literally, even as we speak right now, thousands of Israeli Druze breached the fence between Israel and Syria and started to run deep into Syrian soil to go and try to help their brothers and sisters fight with them against the Syrian regime. Israel been trying to warn the Syrians for a long time, also using the Americans as intermediate to try and speak and tell them that this is not enough. We even did some little attacks in Damascus and around Syria to show them that we mean business and we're serious, but they didn't listen. The Syrian regime, under the disguise of saying that they're sending people to keep the peace and the ceasefire that they've already achieved few months ago when they were at the beginning of the clashes and Israel intervened and they signed some kind of an agreement that there'll be a ceasefire, there'll be no weapons, no heavy artillery, no heavy engine, no heavy tanks coming into this region. They almost said that it's going to be demilitarized. They didn't listen. They said that because the Bedouins were attacking the Druze, they are sending their strong cannons, their big army, their tanks to kind of bring peace to the region. But what we have seen is that their soldiers getting off these tanks and using them to shoot and to kill hundreds of Druze people has been already killed and massacred. So Israel started to attack these convoys. We have attacked tanks of the Syrian army. We even attacked the headquarters of the military of the Syrians in Damascus, even the back of the presidential palace, to say to them that we mean business. We wouldn't let the brothers and sisters of our Druze people be slaughtered miles away from our borders. So Syria is going into some kind of a new type of a civil war when the regime is kind of trying to say that they are the peacekeepers, but they're not. And Israel is about to mobilize a whole military army from the south, from Gaza. They're going to militarize 1 or 2 armed corps. Already has been recruiting one huge armed corps of the Israeli army from the reserves to go up to the north. And we are preparing to maybe come into Syria to protect the Druze people. This guy, under the radar of the international community, I don't know if some of you have seen already 2 days ago, I've been already posting about this man dressed half in his old ways of kafia and half in his kind of a suit, saying that the guy is not rational about the way he's acting towards his own people, and for the international community not to be silent about it. They have seen what was happening. But let me tell you one thing. The United Nothing stands for the UN or France or England or many of these countries. If it's not to do with the Jews, there's nothing they would like to do about it. So that's okay to slaughter the Druze, but it's not okay for the Jews to defend themselves. This is the hypocrisy of the international community that we are trying to awaken even our Minister of Defense and our Minister of Foreign Affairs has been calling out to the international community to intervene in Syria and not let this new butcher from Damascus to have his way with the silent, innocent Druze people of his country.
Now, for everybody watching again, this is pretty major because, we obviously know there's a lot of Bible prophecy concerning Damascus. But beyond that, this is Israel going in simply to help. Like Doobie was saying, there wasn't anything crazy going on between Israel and Syria. This is Israel saying we're not going to stand by and watch this regime kill innocent people. And that, again, all that does is go against the false propagandist narrative that says that Israel goes after civilians. Even, and I mentioned it at the beginning of the show, Doobs, this week we saw France say, this is just the level of stupidity here is unbelievable to me. France saying all Gazans are refugees and they're welcome to come and live in France. Now, obviously, I texted you and said to you, Doobs, this is horrifying. And obviously, I'm thinking about the fact that movement between Europe is so easy. If all these Gazans suddenly go into France, what's that going to do to Europe? What the heck is going to happen there? We know what goes on with this group of people in particular, but by France doing that, they're in essence labeling Israel as a terrorist, genocidal nation. Which, again, so many European nations have done this, and it's the same propaganda that we see that the Nazis did. But you had an interesting perspective on this, Doobs. Tell me about your perspective.
Well, we have to look at things from a more biblical way,
yes.
Obviously, as we are a ministry. And we have a saying in Hebrew that he says, Melachtam shel tzadikim na'aset bidei acherim, which means that the work of the righteous, sometimes God is using other people to serve them and to do the work for them. And here it is, the French people were trying to say that Israel is genocidal and we're attacking the poor innocent people of Gaza, and now they can get asylum in France because they are refugees. But Israel is saying, good for them. We want all the civilians of Gaza, anyone in Gaza, to get a chance to get out of this death camp, I'm saying, which is not a death camp that is caused by Israel. It's a death camp that is called by
Hamas.
by the prison warders, the prison wardens of Gaza. This is the Hamas.
Yes.
The Hamas people has been throughout this war, almost 2 years, hiding behind innocent women and children. For them, a victory is if Israel by mistake kill women and children while they're hiding behind them. And that's what would come. The international community will come against Israel. We want the people of Gaza, as a matter of fact, for a long time already, without making big headlines, Israel is enabling every Gazan, every family from Gaza to leave Gaza if they have anywhere in the world that they receive them and accept them, to go there and find some peace and not be a peon in the game of the Hamas. The only reason that this war is not ended yet is because of the fact that the Hamas is holding not 50 Israeli hostages only. They're holding 2.5 million people of Gaza hostages in their hands. We've seen recently what happened when the international community are trying to feed the poor people of Gaza. The Hamas coming to steal it from the centers of the delivery centers, from the places where they dispense this food. And just yesterday, 19 of them were ran over to death by the Hamas people intruding into these centers and trying to steal the food that you are donating money to give to the poor people, while they will resell it to the poor people of Gaza to make their fortune so they can keep on investing in their war machine against Israel. So yes, let France and England and the US and any other country who wants to absorb Palestinians, take them there, save their lives for a season. I know for sure, just like Donald Trump promised, if the Hamas will be out of Gaza, we will be able to develop this beautiful pearl alongside the Mediterranean, make it into a Monaco, a Monte Carlo, a beautiful Paris of the Middle East again. And then anyone with the birthrights of Gaza will be able to go back there to a safe environment. But in the meantime, there are only different parts of the Gazan war machine to abuse this poor, innocent civilian society in the war against Israel and to attract the world media biasly against Israel. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm saying God is working, God is acting. Let these people go. Literally, let them go until there'll be some peace and calmness. Israel, if we were a genocidal society, they won't be there anymore. We could have finished that with killing as many of them in the first, second, third day and trying to find our people, bring them back. But we're not. We are surgically trying to attack to avoid as many casualties amongst the Palestinians. But what can you do when the regime is putting them at gunpoint, not letting them come out? So if there are refugees in Gaza, the cause is the Hamas, not Israel.
Yes. And everything that Doobie said there, I thought was incredible perspective. And this is just a reminder to all of us, God is working. It might not look the way we expect it to look, but he is at work. And for every single one of you watching out there, I'm encouraging you this week, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for protection.
But also for the peace in Syria, and before anyone, to pray for the president of the United States at this moment, because he was also, this is a man, this is a businessman, this is a man who made his career by the ability to read people's mind and to read their intentions far before they're able to play their game. And yet he was deceived by this Syrian leader. He said he's a kind man, he's a nice man. He said good things about him when he met him in Qatar wearing a suit. But please, make God open his eyes to see that Syria would be another slaughterhouse if the international community is not going to intervene and put this man behind bars and his regime where they need to be, somewhere far from the eyes of the international community, and try to bring some real peace into this thorn country of Syria.
Yes, and amen to that. So pray for President Trump for wisdom, that God would open his eyes, pray for protection for Bibi Netanyahu, and of course for Jews all over the world. So we say thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Shabbat Shalom, and we'll see you guys next week.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Hello, friends. I'm Donna Clement Petrushka, and I am honored to invite you to something truly extraordinary, the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Now you can gain unprecedented access to my father's entire digitized video archive. Every prophetic moment, every powerful teaching, every anointed worship session is now available to you in the Prophecy Vault. Plus, I'm excited to share that my dad's special School of the Prophets teachings are included, offering you deep, transformative lessons on hearing God's voice and understanding his revelations. Your partnership is crucial. Not only will you gain access to these incredible resources, but you'll also help us continue the vital work of preserving, digitizing, and adding new Kim Clement material to the archives. I'm inviting you to step into the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Let's embark on this journey of revelation together, and I can't wait to see you inside.
When they sung that, that's when they began to win the battle. They won the battle because of what God gave them. That was prophetic. They all prophesied.
That whole aspect, Charlie, of bringing people into unity and worship in the Spirit and then saying what God says, wow, that's a whole nother level.
There is something beautiful and anointed and powerful contained here that I think God released. And you were saying this on one of the other shows, Charlie. You said, you know, if it was just a regular bunch of musicians, they might say, oh, well, all they're doing is repeating themselves. But there's not an understanding that there's something beautiful in this moment that is prophecy that's releasing a power and an anointing and a unity.
Watch now at real-faith.tv.
We here at the House of Destiny are partnering with you to let our viewers, of course, know about your company. It's Beverly Hills Precious Metal.
Andrew, explain how that works.
So I'll walk you through it right now. So if you go to bh-pm.com, right there on the homepage, you'll see a form that you could fill out. And that form is very important in letting us know how we can help you. So you just put in your first name, last name, email address, phone number. There's a section that says, how did you hear about us? And in there, put Kim Clement. And then there's a portion where you could write a couple of notes down on the bottom. Usually within about 24 to 48 hours, we'll contact you by phone call, and then we'll go over everything with you. This isn't a high pressure deal. We always recommend that if you feel uncomfortable, take a step back, pray about it. You will gain the answers that you need by doing that, and come back to us when you're comfortable.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.